When you think of syrupy desserts, I bet baklava pops in your mind. It is one of the most popular versions after all, and mine is a pistachio walnut baklava. It's so good, you're gonna get sticky fingers eating it right out of the pan. So let me get right to it, starting with that sticky syrup. Now, what defines baklava? The honey. It gives it its gloss, it gives it that beautiful sweet flavor, and of course, the stickiness. I'm gonna measure half a cup of honey into my pot. I'll also measure in half a cup of water. And as if the honey isn't sweet enough, I need sugar, a full cup of granulated sugar. Now for the key flavorings. Baklava typically has lemon in it, and you want the flavor from the zest and the juice. So what I do is I put in the entire lemon. That way, as it cooks, the flavor comes out of the zest, and then with a squeeze to start, the juice also cooks into the syrup, and that helps balance the sweetness. Now for just a hint of spice. So all I need here is a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground clove. I'll put this on the stove, just on medium heat, let it come up to a full simmer. While the syrup gently simmers away, I can work on the nut mixture. You need a cup in total of nuts, so I'm using half a cup of pistachios, half a cup of walnuts. Because the sweetness in baklava comes from the syrup, for the nut mixture, I only need a tablespoon of sugar. And its function is less about the sweetness. The sugar absorbs the oils as you pulse the nuts. That way you don't accidentally end up with nut butter. Now, a little more spice flavor into this mixture, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of clove. I'll pulse this to grind them. Basically what I'm looking for is just an even texture. All right, those 2 steps are simple enough, and it's already time to assemble the baklava. Got my phyllo pastry and a 9x13 pan that I've buttered generously. Now, the last element, the butter. 3/4 of a cup of melted butter. I lay down a sheet here, and then using a pastry brush, I just give it a light brush. You don't have to completely cover the phyllo with the butter, but just generally give it a light, even brush. Now I'll add a second piece of phyllo right on top, like so, and another light brushing. Now this is the fun part. So what you need is a long wooden spoon, and you lay it along the short end of the phyllo, and just kind of quickly, loosely roll it up like so, and this is the fun part. Hold it in place, pull it down, and then scrunch it off of the spoon. Like so. Then you curl it around and bring the ends together. It will stay in place once you put it in your pan. It's such a beautiful shape, and the nuts will go right in the center. Beautiful. Now, I'll take a last little bit of butter and just baste the tops. That way, they'll brown beautifully. And before they go in the oven, it's time to spoon in this nut mixture. And you'll think, won't it fall out the bottom when I pick one up to eat it? Well, once you get that syrup in, it all locks into place. And now these are all set for the oven, which I've preheated to 350, and they take about 30 minutes, and they're gonna turn a nice, even, rich golden brown. The buttery baklava baking plus this lemon syrup, which is still bubbling away. What a combination. Set this down. don't those look beautiful? I'm just going to pull the lemons out, and now I'm just gonna pour the syrup over top. And it looks like a lot of syrup floating around, but as the baklavas sit, they will absorb that syrup. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, they're gonna go all soggy? Not at all. They'll soak through and essentially preserve the baklava, so they keep for ages in an airtight container. And it's best to let these sit until they're completely cooled before you try even that very first one. And here they are after they've sat. That gloss sets in place, the syrup thickens up around it, and just enough soaks through. Oh, they look so beautiful. Loosen it a bit. Oh yeah, get ready to get sticky. Absolutely fantastic. And when you cut through it, it yields, but it's still got just the right amount of crispness to it. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mmm. Mmm.